Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
All right, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Shoots and Ladders podcast. Here are your hosts, Desiree and Jason.
Shoots and Ladders, AEW Double or Nothing recap. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
All right, life has been hectic for us both, so we're actually giving you this recap a little later than expected. However, it is very important. We want to get right into it. So what are your thoughts, Des?
Well, let's talk about this. This was blowing up over social media, and it was actually, I found out, it was looked up online more than some of the WWE like backlash and current events. So that tells you a lot about these kind of matches.
Sounds good. Listen, we've been saying this for quite some time that the actual pay-per-views are very solid. We just want them to be on the actual app, so we don't have to pay additional.
Yeah, I just want to watch it.
So that being said, let's go over this rundown. First match we're going to talk about is Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. What was your grade on this match?
I know with Mercedes winning, it's not a surprise. It's actually getting very boring to me with her winning all the time. And I think with a lot of the fans, we're just like, well, it's the same old thing. And I'm a fan of Jamie Hayter, but I saw that it was a pretty decent match. And so this just means Mercedes, even though she won the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament, she now gets to be the first contender to go against Toni Storm for the Women's Championship. So hopefully Toni Storm pulls out a win on this one and teaches her a lesson, but who knows? Mercedes may get yet another belt. So, besides that, whatever. I'm not a big fan of Mercedes, so I'll give it like a B.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll give it a B as well. I thought it was okay. Again, I think we kind of thought that Mercedes was going to win.
Yeah.
They went chalk. Not a big deal, but just like the crowd. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. Next match we're going to go over is FTR, and they defeated Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. What do you have to say about that match?
It's actually kind of refreshing to see FTR as heels just because they've always been the good guys for so many years. So it's nice to see them be some heels. This was okay from what I could see. Nothing spectacular. It wasn't one of the standouts. I'll just put it that way. So I'll give it a B.
Let's just get it out the way. I'm going to go ahead and give a B as well. Again, yeah, exactly. Let's be real. So yeah, we obviously catch a good amount of this via social media clips and such like that. I thought it was okay. It could have just been on a weekly show, and we would have known the difference, to be honest with you. So nothing crazy on this front. All right, so then we're going to go over to the next match: Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. Ricochet got the win. Yep. What do you have to say about this stretcher match?
This one was interesting. This was more of the entertaining one, and this is the one that caught my eye a little bit more. Ricochet was just in full heel mode and just playing with the crowd, making them mad, running off from the ambulance, like skipping away, which I thought was hilarious. But what I loved was Mark got his hands on Ricochet in the ring and put some cleaner on his bald head and shined it.
Mr. Clean, I love it.
I loved it. Ricochet did end up getting Mark onto the stretcher and locked up into the ambulance. So it wasn't in our favor, but it was, from what I saw, pretty fun and pretty good. They had some really good spots going through some tables. So you know what? I give it like an A- just for entertainment.
Absolutely. I will. Okay, you know, it's a fair grade. I was gonna give it a B plus. I think there were some really fun spots. I do like Ricochet's in-ring ability, obviously the character standpoint, we all know at this point, like, just give him a mouthpiece, someone else can just kind of do the promos for him.
Yeah, he can't talk.
Yeah, at all. It's not good.
Thank God he's got Samantha. So.
Yeah, for sure. I really do think that would be the best thing for him. As far as the concept of the match, a stretcher match, I just think it's a little silly, to be honest with you. I kind of wish it was something else. I get it, but like just the premise of it has never been.
It's like a casket match.
Yeah, it is. But the casket, you close the casket, like the stretcher, it's just, I don't know. It's just,
you got to close him into the ambulance.
I just think it's a little silly. But you laughed when you said that, which is funny, which is kind of like my sentiment. It's like, okay, I get it. But you know what? As far as like the actual in-ring performances, pretty solid. Yeah. So B+, I mean, A-, you could very much argue as well.
Yeah.
All right, next match, Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas. Okay, let me hear what you have to say.
A little underwhelmed.
Yeah, say the least. I
don't hate him. I don't hate anybody in this card, but you know, it's just like Dustin Rhodes and Sammy. They're already Ring of Honor tag titles holders for that, and then Hurt Syndicate already, you know, the AEW tag team titles. So, and then they come in with MJF. MJF tries to, I don't know, pull some interference, and then Lashley stops him and says, "Hey, what are we gonna, you know, what did we say? We're not gonna do that." And then immediately spears Dustin through the barricade, which I thought was kind of fun to watch, but nothing super impressive or memorable. So it was okay. Just lots of bodies flying and, you know, whatever. So I'll give it like a B-, B+.
I'll be nice because I actually like Shelton Benjamin, and I have nothing but respect for Dustin Rhodes rather.
Yeah.
So I'll give it B-. Other than that, I think he should retire, go to WWE and be his brother's manager, to be honest with you. And as far as Bobby Lashley, never been a fan. I don't like the Hurt Syndicate that much at all. I think I don't know. They just don't.
And they have MJF in it now too, which is like weird.
Yeah, I don't see the connection, to be honest with you.
When I see them together, I think of like a high school project where the teacher was like, "Okay, Maxwell, just join them."
Well said. That's actually the best way to put it. Yeah, so we'll give it a B- just because I have respect for some of the guys in it, but that's it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. AEW Continental Championship, Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. What do you think about this match?
I heard that it started off kind of slow. And I'm not as familiar with Mike Bailey as I am with Okada. So I'm always favoring the ones that I'm more familiar with in the ring. So I'm glad he retained the title. There was some really cool spots that he did, where I believe like Mike was coming off the top rope and in midair, he drop kicked him in the face like twice, which I thought was really cool. So I enjoyed that. But, I mean, yeah, it was a typical title match. Not one of the best ones of the night, just because there were some a little bit better. So I'll give it like a B. Okay.
Yeah, B's fair. I'd probably say the same thing. I think they're, you know, athletically, they're gifted, obviously.
Yeah.
In-ring abilities, pretty solid, but just nothing special. But again, a B, just because, again, like the athleticism, both guys really kind of showed out.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, cool. Now we're going to talk about our girl, Timeless Tony, and how she defeated Shirakawa. From what I saw, this match potentially stole the show. So what do you have to say?
Yes, our girl. I mean, she does no wrong.
I was just about to say, hold on. Have we ever seen a bad match from Toni Storm? I don't think so.
No.
Like ever. Ever. No. I don't think we've ever seen a bad match.
And you know what? I think she, you know, for those that have jumped promotions from WWE and NXT to AEW, I think she is by far the most successful out of all of them because she has had the most consistent career, but she's performed so well in this promotion and carried it. So, you know, good for her for doing that. Because some people always say, oh, you know, they were always better in WWE. Why aren't you going back to them? We don't say that about Toni. We say, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. So, you know, if you're smart, you know, keep paying her the good money and giving her the good matches and the good storylines. I am going to say, I did read in some articles that people are very tired of her Timeless Toni act. and they said it's kind of boring, which I'm like, I get it, but it kind of works. And she's very dramatic. And even if she went back to like the rocker Tony or just a different form, I would be okay with it because she can pull off whatever, character she can. So I don't care. I'm okay with it. I love her. I think she's fantastic. But yeah, and even Mina's very athletic. They put on a show, had some fun with the crowd, and then at the end, they did lock in a kiss, which I'm sure fans loved and were like, okay, all right, that's some good sportsmanship. That's some friendship there. So I'm going to give it an A.
Absolutely, of course. If Tony Storm's in, we're going to give it an A. 100%. I'm actually with you. Look, if you kind of shifted gimmicks, go for it. And just make sure she's still the champion, because at this point, it would be silly to take it off her. That's for sure.
Agreed.
All right, next match, Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm not going to name all the guys because there's too many, but what did you think about this match?
This is actually what got me Googling and looking up Double or Nothing, because I was like, I'm distracted this weekend being in, with other things going on. And then, what pops up on social media is these fantastic entrances and then these random fights, like in the audience, backstage, in the ring. And then the fact that they played Bodies by, was it Drowning Pool?
Drowning Pool.
And I'm like, I love that song because it's on my playlist to work out in, and it gets me going. Can you imagine doing some kind of like hardcore street fight listening to this? I would be like really hurting some people. And you know what? This was very reminiscent. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of ECW and a little bit of the hardcore match. But this one I think was my favorite match of the night, just because it was just brutal and I loved it. So I'm going to give it an A.
100% A match. If you have this much star power in one match, it better be an A. But in their defense, they performed. They brought it. Yeah, A match, 100%.
Everybody did. I love it.
All right. Trios match. Don Callis family versus the Paragon. What are your thoughts on this match?
I don't like Adam Cole. I
don't like the Callis family that much, to be honest.
I don't like I don't really care for any of this. Watching them all in the ring, there's something about Adam Cole. I'm just like, you are not believable to me as a wrestler. I don't know. Everyone loves him. I don't. He's like Mercedes Moné to me. I'm like, they're so overrated. In the nicest way, I know. But I wasn't into it. There wasn't anything big that impressed me. I think it's just because I don't care for them. And the only thing that I noticed was Brody King came out at the end, and a couple of other guys, and that was it. So the fact that other people came out caught my eye rather than the match itself. So it was okay. I give it like a C.
Okay. C is fair. That's it. And that's it. That's all I have to say, because I'm moving on. Okay. And the last match, Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament final, Hangman versus Ospreay. Listen, we said this about Tony Storm. Any match that she's been has been an A. Same thing with Ospreay. A little bit surprised about who won, but what are your thoughts?
Damn, this was a banger. You can't go wrong. You know what? As we favor Will 100%. He is there. He's amazing. He's an athlete, so good at what he does, but also Hangman is really, really good at what he does. And, they're like two faces going at it. So you can't really go wrong with who wins. They had some really awesome spots, some really good, like lariats. And, it was just typical. I wasn't shocked by how good it was, and I loved it. It was one of the best matches of the night. And hopefully with Hangman winning the Owen Hart Foundation, he was now going to be the first contender to go against Jon Moxley, and we know how much his reign has been doing. So hopefully this will allow us to change titles and with a new champion.
Sure. I'm actually going to double down. Pun intended for Double or Nothing. This actually will be in conversation for match of the year. This was awesome.
Yep.
I'm so glad that they did this. I'm kind of with you. Listen, surprise winner, but this is kind of cool because this isn't the last time that they are going to have a match. So obviously the feud's going to continue. We love Will. We love Hangman too. I mean, like when it comes to AEW, there's some of these wrestlers that are really just carrying everyone on their shoulders, carrying the entire promotion on their shoulders. But yeah, 100% A+. This is definitely in the conversation for match of the year. So when we do our mid-season grades, I'm sure this is going to be a conversation as well.
100%.
All right. So now that being said, what are your final thoughts and what is your final grade?
Final grade, because we had some really awesome matches and really okay matches that really could have been on Dynamite. So I will say it over and over again. So you know what? I'm going to give it like a B. It wasn't terrible. It had a lot of really good matches.
Sure. Yeah. I'll be a little, I'm feeling good. I'll give it a B+, but yeah, I'm kind of with you. Because they've had some, again, Hangman and Ospreay is potentially match of the year. Tony Storm brought an A match as well. The Anarchy match was again. I don't think they'll do that match again for any time soon.
I think that was like my favorite match.
Yeah. So again, a lot of really strong points, but yeah, shorten the card, and give more value on the matches that you have. I promise.
9 matches,
which is insane. There's no reason for it. A regular event, a televised event, if there's 9 matches, at least 2 of them are dark matches. So why would you do it for a pay-per-view? I don't get it.
And let's be mindful. The ones that we said we didn't really like that were, those could have been done, and we could have had really 5 really solid matches with a top-tier pay-per-view.
100%.
Just saying.
All right. Any other final thoughts that you have?
I've been doing a lot of reading lately, a little bit of lurking on social media because that's just what I do on a daily basis. And, we've been saying this very often that, there's some people that we want to jump ship. But just recently, I just happened to be on the AEW website and looked at their roster and someone was missing. Do we know who that was?
Oh, yeah, Mariah May.
Yeah, she is no longer on the roster. She's been posting a lot of old content with AEW, so I don't know if she's trying to use up all of that, so she's not associated anymore, or there's no follow-up. And plus, she's been out for a little bit on vacation and getting, has some time off, but we said that we saw her in Vegas. There's some works with her with WWE. So I am expecting her to show up on NXT, maybe WWE, within the next couple of months.
Listen, you want to talk about an explosion. I mean, the reaction from that will just be none other, honestly. If that happens, yeah, if it does, I don't know when they put her in. It's just, I hope it's one of those surprises beyond anything that we can ever imagine, kind of similar what they did with Jade or something like that, because that'll just be insane.
Yeah, because she showed up on Rumble and we had no idea. Who knows? She could interfere in a match, like a women's. Who knows? She could knock down a ladder at Money in the Bank. Who knows?
I'd be down for that.
No.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on Double or Nothing? Please DM us at the Shoots and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Joseph.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.
This has been Shoots and Ladders. Follow us for more content.